The Gobbet Opus, number 80, Cold, from December 16th, 2008. Cold, cold, cold. This week, in what is usually the mild Pacific Northwest, it is going to be below freezing. When I die and go to the hell that so many have promised me, it will not be fire. It will not be brimstone. It will be cold, and I will be naked and wet, with a breeze in my face, in Chuck E. Cheese, and they are playing country music. Now, for those of you who are hearing this that are calling me a wimp, I do have some street cred. I did my residency in Minnesota, where I learned to really hate the cold. But I was asked today, as I was wondering about the hospital stomping out illness, can you catch a cold? Nah, it's a myth. Then I was asked, what's the data? I'll be damned. What is the data? It is old data from 1958, 1 year younger than me. So old it does not exist in electronic form. But people say it says that chilling doesn't increase cold risk. A subsequent study in the New England Journal of Medicine had the same result. No increased incidence of colds when chilled people are challenged with rhinovirus. I asked my eldest what he was doing with his friends, and he usually replies, chillin'. At least he'll not be catching a cold. Or will he? And then, in what is one of the odder studies I have found, some researchers did show that those that had their feet chilled were more likely to get cold symptoms. What they did is they took 180 healthy people who were randomized to receive either a foot chill or control. Then they were asked to look for cold symptoms over the next 4 to 5 days. The acute chilling of the feet causes the onset of cold symptoms in around 10% of subjects who were chilled, said the study. Further studies are needed to determine the relationship between symptom generation to any respiratory infection. Lack of placebo arm makes controlling for bias impossible. I had a lot of cold feet in my dating days, but I do not remember subsequent infections. But perhaps I share too much. I suppose I should be convinced, but the data is not compelling and not relevant to the real world. I just got in from my evening walk, and my nose was congested and my throat dry. I would seem primed for an upper respiratory compromise with mechanical alterations to make it easier for rhinovirus or other infections like Streptococcus pneumoniae to gain a foothold. A really good study would be to challenge people after a 3-mile trek in a 25-mile-an-hour wind like I did today. That's cold stress. The increase seen in winter respiratory disease is always attributed to crowding and easier transmission, but there is some, albeit contradictory, information that cold does increase the risk of bacterial infections. Whether cold causes infections depends on how much stress the cold exposure causes. Quote, psychological stress was associated in a dose-response manner with an increased risk of acute infectious respiratory illness, and this risk was attributable to the increased rates of infection rather than to an increased frequency of symptoms after infection, end quote. Does cold cause a cold? Maybe. I bet it does. It is too bad that other forms of temperature do not have names like beer, sex, and golf. Those might be worth catching. Besides, a cold in the head causes less suffering than an idea. Or so said Jules Renard. The relevant references were from the American Journal of Hygiene, 1958, Transmission of the Common Cold of Volunteers Under Controlled Conditions, the effect of chilling of the subjects upon susceptibility. Exposure to cold environment and rhinovirus common cold, failure to demonstrate effect, the New England Journal of Medicine, and the ever-so-weird acute cooling of the feet and the onset of common cold symptoms in the Journal Family Practice, 2008. And don't forget my infectious disease guide, now an iTunes app. Yes, there's an iTunes app for me. Purchase it online on iTunes. And that ends the Gobbet Opus number 80.